In this lecture we will discuss moments. Moments. To learn various techniques to distinguish between the various shape, the concept of skewness and kurtosis can be used. In other words, this concept is used to distinguish between a symmetrical and a skew distribution, to compute various coefficients to measure the extent of skewness in a distribution, to distinguish between the platychoric and leptochoric distribution, and to compute the coefficient of kurtosis. Moment. Almost all information contained in most of the frequency distribution about the original data can be described by the following four characteristics. The first characteristic is described by the measure of central tendency, while the second characteristic is described by the measure of distribution. Third and fourth characteristics are described by the measure of skewness and kurtosis. First characteristic क्या है? The central value in the distribution. The central value in the distribution around which the observation tends to lie. Second, the distribution that has the extent to which the observation are spread out from the central values. The manner in which the observation are distributed around the central value. Fourth number, the thickness or flatness of the distribution which is measured relative to a distribution known as normal distribution. Moments are arithmetic means of the power to which the deviation are raised. Thus, the mean of the first power of deviation from mean is the first moment about mean. The mean of the second power square of the deviation from the mean is the second moment about, and so on. In other words, a moment is a quantitative measure. Moment क्या है? एक quantitative measure है of the shape of set of observation. The first moment is called mean. First moment को हम mean कहेंगे, which is describe the center of distribution. The second moment is called variance, और second moment जो है वो हमारे पास variance उसको हम कहेंगे, which describe the spread of the observation around the center. Other moments describe other aspects of distribution, such as how the distribution is skewed from its mean or peaked. So, a moment designate the power to which deviation are raised before averaging them. Let x1, x2, xn are the n values, then the earth moment about the mean denoted by mr is defined by mr is equal to 1 divided by n summation x minus x bar whole power r. This is the earth mean, yani the earth moment. If r is equal to 1, m1 is equal to 1 divided by n summation x minus x bar is equal to 0 property of mean. R is equal to 2, m2 is equal to 1 divided by n summation x minus x bar whole square, which is equal to variance. If the deviation are taken from some arbitrary origin, let A is an arbitrary origin, the earth moment about origin is denoted by UR as defined by 1 over n summation x minus A. A हमारे पास origin है, whole power R. This is the earth moment. In particular, the earth moment about 0, putting A is equal to 0 is given by UR is equal to 1 divided by n summation x power R. If R is 1, so U1 is equal to 1 divided by n summation x, and if R is 2, U2 is equal to 1 divided by n summation x square. For group data, the earth moment about the mean is given as mr is equal to 1 divided by n summation f x minus x bar whole power r, where f1, f2, fn are the corresponding frequencies of n values x1, x2, xn. Conversion from moment about the origin to moment about the mean. कन्वर्जन हम किस तरह करेंगे? About the origin to about the mean. Moment about the mean in term of moments about the origin. m1 is equal to u1 minus u1 is equal to 0. m2 u2 minus u1 square is equal to 0. m3 is equal to u3 minus 3 u1 u2 plus 2 u1 is equal to u1 cube. m4 is equal to this. Example 1. Find the first four moments. First four moments find कर लें about the mean for the set of numbers this 4, 7, 5, 9, 8, 3, 6. मीन वैल्यू सबसे पहले फाइंड कर ले सम ऑफ द क्वांटिटी डिवाइड बाय नंबर ऑफ क्वांटिटी विच इज इक्वल टू 6. फर्स्ट मोमेंट अबाउट मीन m1 is 0 by property. Second moment about the mean is m2, यानी 4 minus 6 whole square plus 7 minus 6 whole square plus 5 minus 6 whole square. सारे क्वांटिटी से सब्ट्रैक्ट कर ले मीन वैल्यू और स्क्वायर ले ले, ये हमारे पास, और टोटल क्वांटिटी पे डिवाइड कर ले, 7 पे डिवाइड कर ले, तो ये हमारे पास क्या आ जाता है 4. नोट दैट m2 इज़ द वेरिएंस, और ये हमारे पास क्या है वेरिएंस है, 4 इसका वेरिएंस है और मीन वैल्यू इसका 0 है. थर्ड मोमेंट अबाउट द मीन m3 m4 माइनस 6 क्यूब, यहाँ पे हम सिर्फ क्यूब लेते हैं. फोर्थ मोमेंट में हम पावर जो है वो 4 लेते हैं. Thus the first four moment about the mean are m1, m2, m3 and m4. It is easier to find moment about 0, particularly if mean is in decimal, and then find moment about the mean using relation. For example, find the first four moment about the mean for the set of number this. We can first calculate the moment about 0 as first moment about 0 u1 is equal to sum of the quantity divided by number of quantity which is equal to 6. Second moment about the 0, so square ले ले, क्योंकि जो क्वांटिटी आप सब्ट्रैक्ट करते हैं यानी 4 माइनस मीन वैल्यू वो सब्ट्रैक्ट करते हैं, लेकिन यहाँ पे वो 0 है तो सिर्फ स्क्वायर ले ले, ये हमारे पास सेकंड मोमेंट हो जाएगा. थर्ड मोमेंट में सिर्फ क्यूब ले ले, फोर्थ मोमेंट में पावर जो है वो फोर्थ ले ले. नाउ यूजिंग रिलेशंस, फर्स्ट फोर मोमेंट अबाउट द मीन आर गिवन एज m1 0, m2 is equal to 4, m3 is equal to 0, m4 is equal to 28. Moment ratio involving moments are called moment ratio. Most common moments ratio are defined as beta 1 is equal to m3 square divided by m2 cube, beta 2 is equal to m4 divided by m2 square. Since these are ratio and hence have no unit per symmetric distribution, beta 1 is equal to 0. So it is used as a measure of skewness. Beta 2 is used to explain the shape of the curve and it is a measure of steepness. For normal distribution bell shape curve, beta 2 is equal to 3. If beta 2 is greater than 3, curve is more sharply peaked and has wider tail than the normal curve and is said to be leptocortic. On the other beta 2 is less than 3, the curve has a flatter top and relatively narrower tail than the normal curve and is said to be platycortic. To measure the skewness, for example, moment ratio beta 1 is calculated as beta 1 is equal to m3 square divided by m2 square. This is equal to 0 square divided by 4 and this is equal to 0. Beta 1, since beta 1 is 0, so it is symmetric distribution. In other words, it is not skewed. To explain the shape of the curve, beta 2 is used. For example, moment ratio beta 2 is calculated as beta 2 is equal to m4 divided by m2 square, which you can calculate 1.75 since beta 2 is less than 3. So the curve of this distribution has a flatter top and relatively narrower tail than the normal curve and is said to be platycortic. Thank you so much.